All right, so let's go ahead and pick up with the presentation so we can just go a little bit more deeper into offers. And then as you're working on your homework, um, we have a better understanding as well. Right. All right, so just like a quick recap, what is a digital offer? A digital offer is a structured solution that helps a specific person solve a problem or reach a desired result, right? So a digital offer, once you fine tune the messaging and everything and what problems are you solving, some of those offers can include coaching, it can be consulting, it could be a course, it could be a live training, it could be a community. It could be like the software that we talked about earlier, creating a CRM or software or GPTs, right? Those are just the pieces that makes up the offer. Okay. So a digital offer is not simply just information placed online, it's a complete solution that gives the right person a reason to invest. Okay. So, one of the some of the five questions that we want to make sure that we're answering as we are building out our offer is who is this offer for? And that's some of the things that we talked about last week. What problems does it solve? What results does it help create? How will the result be achieved? And what does the customer receive? Okay. So I'm going to screenshot this because I want you to actually, I think this is already in the homework, but I want you to kind of think more about the answers to these actual five questions. Okay. I'm going to skip past this because we went over this last week. Okay. So, just to kind of recap this as well, when you're creating your offer, we're pretty much starting with what you already know, right? What you already know, what you have done, what people need from you, and then that helps create stronger ideas as you are creating your offer. So, we kind of broke through some of those things last week in regards to you having the skill set when it comes to AI, and being able to incorporate that into your final offer. Okay. Um, so we also talked about what actually counts as expertise. We talked about your education, the training, the skill sets that you have. So that's going to make up your offer as well. And then we talked about what do you know, what have you done, and what do people need. These are the three sources that's going to help you build out the pieces and the payoff as it relates to your offer ideas. Okay. Um, I'm gonna skip past this because we went over this as well. Okay. So when it comes to creating an offer, a lot of times people want to see the proof, right? They want to know like who have you actually been able to do this for? Right now you're just in your beginning stages, so you are the proof, right? You're the proof behind the experiences that you have, right? So results that you have personally created, your stories of transformation, client feedback, screenshots or examples, case studies, and personal success. So right now we're going to be leveraging when it comes to you promoting these different key points online, you are your own person of success right now, right? Until you start building up a community of people that you know you're going to be able to help and take them to that next level and actually create transformation. So, like we also talked about those teachable moments, that the things that you are going through and you're realizing that there's a better way. We could talk about that online and then how you are able to figure out the better solution that help you get over the hump, to help you create this transformation along the process and in your current journey. Okay. So the goal is not perfection. The goal is to show you that pretty much to show that you have experience, okay? And that you can actually help other people get results. Okay. So when we talk about results, the results is not always revenue generated, right? I mean, it's not always driven by revenue. Of course, that's what people a lot of times lead with. Hey, I help this person make 10,000. I help this person make 15,000. But if you can simply help someone create a breakthrough in their current process, if you can help them implement systems, if you can help them create some form of transformation, that is what shows the proof as well. Okay. Help them incorporate different strategies that leads to more clientele, that leads to a better process. That is what we want to also focus on, as well as not always the money that people generate when it comes to a transformation. Okay. So the proof is powerful, but it's not always everything. Even without dramatic results, you can still help people through education, guidance, strategy, implementation, resources, accountability, and just simply implementing structure. Okay. So when we talk about transformation, relevance plus transformation also equals a strong offer. So the relevance, I'm sorry, is what solves a problem the audience cares about. Okay. What's going to make that strong offer is a transformation. It creates a change the audience desires. So when we combine that with your experience, with the audience's problems and their desired results, this is what creates a strong offer. Okay. So you're going to hear me repeat this quite often, right? Strong transformation, desired results, the problems that we solve is what make up an offer. Okay. Um, so what problem are you solving? Okay, we talked about it a little briefly a little bit earlier. A strong offer solves a specific problem. Whether that problem for someone is time, whether that problem is saving money, whether that problem is structure, whether that problem is I'm overworked and underpaid and I need systems, right? These are all problems that most entrepreneurs and business owners are going through in their day-to-day journey. So if we can solve a specific problem, it don't have to be all the problems, right? Because a lot of times you're not going to be able to solve every single problem that someone is experiencing, but if you can pinpoint one or two specific problems, that helps create results and transformation for that particular audience as well. Okay, so as long as we're able to identify the problems that we're solving, right, the problem should be something the audience recognizes, something that they're currently experiencing, it's something that they're always talking about, right? So for you, Sherry, what was one of the problems that even led you to me that that was always on your mind, that you was always thinking about?
So I had a problem converting people from like my content to getting them interested organically to, discover me further and literally book with me. So I gather them because I know how to do content.
Mm-hmm.
But after I gather them, then I don't necessarily have anything in place that they could come on in a little bit for like a magnet to come on
Right.
in. So
So you pretty much didn't have an offer.
yeah, I
You knew
thought I
how to
did,
you
but
knew how to attract the you knew how to attract people through your content, but you didn't have an offer that solves a problem. So
yeah,
they wasn't really they didn't know what you could help them with essentially.
right.
They didn't know what problems you solved, so you wasn't able to convert that traffic into a lead or a book call or a product.
Yeah, because what I was doing was after I got their attention, I'm immediately selling the the decorating. But
Mhm.
that's not solving anything. That's the end product.
Right.
So I think I was missing that tunnel piece.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, so moving on. So pretty much we don't want to create surface problems. Okay? A
Hmm.
surface problem is what the customer says is wrong, right? And examples of that is I need more clients, I need a webinar, I need a website, I
Hmm.
need better credit, right? I need to post more content, I need to make more money, I need an offer, I need automation. The surface
Right.
problem is important, but it may not be the full problem, right? So when
Hmm.
somebody say, "Hey, I need a webinar," most people is not going to say, "I need to host a webinar," because what problem does a webinar solve?
Right.
It's the surface level. Some people may say, "Oh, I feel like I need to post more content," but why do you feel like you need to post more content? What is the true problem as to why you feel you need to post more content? What is that content that you're posting, that you're already posting, not doing? Okay. You say, "Oh, I need more clients." Why do you feel you need more clients? You having more clients, what problem is that going to solve?
Right.
So we had to dig deeper and to the root of the matter, right? I need automation. Nobody, on the regular basis, the everyday person is not going to say, "Oh, I need automation." They're going to be like, I'm tired of sending out emails. I'm tired of sending out onboarding checklists. I'm tired of sending out booking links. Like that is the language that people use when they have certain problems. So then we position the solution as their. I'm sorry, we position our offer as their solution. So, for example, like Brianna, she helps with systems. She helps with back-end automations. Those are not the everyday words and language that people are using when they have problems in their current situation. We're like, again, I'm tired of doing this repeatedly. I'm tired of doing all these manual tasks and different things like that. So in this case, automations is the solution. It's not necessarily the problem. So these are just an examples of surface problems. Okay. Because when we think about people who say I need to post more content, a lot of times they feel like they're not getting enough traction. They're not getting enough traffic. They're not bringing in clients. So as a result of them having bad content is the reason why they're not making more money in their business, because their content is not landing. The messaging is not landing. There's no offer in place. Right. Okay. So some of the symptoms when it comes to just understanding your offer is, right? Systems are the visible effects of a problem. How the problem shows up, right? Again, just kind of what we just talked about. Inconsistent sales, low webinar attendance if you're running webinars, right? Poor follow-up, missed deadlines, unclear messaging, unqualified leads. Like in your case, you said you're getting people, you're getting traffic, but you're getting low quality leads. You're getting people who can't afford the service, right? So there's a disconnect somewhere because you're attracting the wrong people. Okay. We have constant manual work, difficulty explaining the offer, low confidence, and repeatedly changing directions. Okay. Symptoms tell us how the problem appears in daily life or business. So there's a difference. Okay. So the root problems is the deeper issue causing the symptoms. Okay. So again, we talked about this is just an example. We look at a surface problem, I need more leads. What's the system behind needing more leads? Inconsistent sales, an empty pipeline, business need depends on referrals. The root problem of I need more leads is you don't have a clear offer and you don't have a repeatable client acquisition system. Okay. So again, a strong offer addresses the real root problem, not only the visible symptom. So when we're creating our messaging and our offers and different things like that, we have to get to the root of the problem, because that's what's going to hit home when it comes to people coming scrolling past your videos. Because if they don't realize, some people realize that they have a problem, but they don't know how to address the problem, or they don't know how to call out the problem. So when you're calling it out, you're calling out these problems. That's what's going to stop that scrolling. Like, wait, I'm dealing with this right now. How can you help me? All right. So nice to have problems versus urgent problems. So nice to have is I'm making a pretty workbook, a workbook prettier. A lot of times we find ourselves doing busy work, but not doing revenue generating activities. We're doing work that's going to keep us busy, but how is that busy work generating money into our business? How is that moving the needle forward? Okay. A nice to have is adding more fonts to a brand, creating logos, creating websites, creating landing pages, right? Learning another social media trend, creating more content without a strategy. That's the nice to have. That's a lot of things that you find people doing every day, keeping themselves busy, but it's not solving the problem. Okay. So some of the urgent problems is losing leads because we don't have a follow-up system. You have the traffic. So let me ask you this. You're generating traffic, or you had people reaching out to you, but did you have a follow-up system in place for those people that's reaching out to you?
No.
Okay, so now you're putting in the work to generate the traffic, but we're losing the leads because we don't have a follow up system behind the traffic. So that's an
I
urgent
think for
problem.
me, I think my once I capture the attention of the leads, I'm missing like the messaging that's
Hmm.
gonna bring them a little closer to me.
Hmm.
And I think, yeah, the messaging is I'm not putting out there a problem that I'm
Right.
solving. I'm putting out there this is the product.
Right. You're promoting the product, not the problem in the
Yeah.
offer. Hmm. So the more expensive or painful the problem, the more valuable the solution becomes. Okay. So like you
Mm-hmm.
said, you have people who are reaching out, you're grabbing the attention, but they don't see the real value in what it is that you're doing and what you're attracting them to. So we're not getting people who wants to pay for your service.
Right.
Okay. So what is the cost of inaction? The cost of inaction what happens when the customer does not solve the problem. Okay, so lost money, wasted time, missed opportunities, delayed growth, etc. Okay, so when customers clearly understand what the problem is costing them, the perceived value of the solution increases. They're willing to pay because they understand that you have a solution to their problem.
Mm-hmm.
So people buy solutions, not information, right? People buy solutions, not products. Because if we can say that people bought products, they'll be buying your product all day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the product that's not selling. There is no solution behind the product. So they're not really buying video modules, coaching calls, templates, portals, workbooks, communities. Those are all the pieces that people really don't even care about.
Mm-hmm.
They're more concerned about the solution. So whatever that solution includes, then that's when we break it down into, okay, my solution is X, Y, and Z, and how I'm going to help you get to this solution includes video modules, coaching calls, templates. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So even for example, when we had our initial call, my first question to you is like, what problem are you having? Because I think you came on asking for a funnel, right?
I
So I'm
did
like,
because I'm
okay.
thinking that's what I need. That's my missing piece.
So I'm like,
That
okay,
funnel.
Sherry, let's have a conversation first. Like, what problems are you having? Let me learn a little bit more about what you are currently experiencing on a day to day. Because a lot of times people think a funnel is a solution.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have the messaging together, if your offer is not together, if you don't have a product or service in place centered around that offer, a funnel
Mm-hmm.
is not going to help it,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you don't have a method in which you're going to bring traffic to the funnel, right? If
Mm-hmm.
you don't have an operating system, if you don't have a proven process or journey on how you're going to generate revenue, a funnel is
Mm-hmm.
not going to help that.
Right.
So we have to build the foundation first before
Mm-hmm.
ever implementing systems and funnels and things. Because if we build, what are we building the funnel on?
Right.
What is the funnel going to offer? When they land on that funnel, what are we offering? What is our message, right? So we got to get clear on these things first. Then we determine, okay, what systems we're going to incorporate,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and how you're going to continuously automate that process. Because the funnel is just essentially a tool that's going to
Mm-hmm.
help you automate your traffic, automate your sales, and take them through the customer journey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, cool. So let's see. What is a transformation? Transformation is the movement from the customer's current state to the desired state. So the current state is where they are now, the challenges, the struggles, or the pain. Okay. So once we
Mm-hmm.
go through that level of awareness, they recognize the need for change. Because, like I said, you have problem aware and you have problem unaware. People know that they're struggling and they have issues or problems, but they still are not clear what that problem really is. So when you're creating content, you have to create a content that's going to attract people that are aware and people that are also unaware because you have to build up the awareness.
Mm-hmm.
so they can understand that they need a transformation, that they have a problem. Okay. So once you have people that are aware and they know that they have a current problem or they need a transformation, then they take the steps and they apply your solution. So now they actually starting to implement action. And once they take action, that's where transformation starts to take place. They experience the change, they experience growth and breakthroughs, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
from there, that's how you start to help people generate results. They achieve a new level of success. And now they go from current state to the desired state where they want to be, the outcome, the freedom, and the results that they desire. Okay. So the transformation is the heart of your offer. So what is the before? Again, a lot of times our people are confused, inconsistent, unprepared, overwhelmed, unclear, right? But we want to take them from that current state to the desired state, which is now what is the after state? I'm clear because I've been able to go through your journey, go through the journey with you, and your offer has helped me get clear, consistent, more prepared, more confident, etc. Right? So the stronger the contrast between the before and the after, the easier the offer is to understand. Okay. So this is
Mm-hmm.
like an example of how you can create content, right? So are you a confused event decorator? You don't know how to do X, Y, and Z. Let me show you how you can get more clarity on how you're going to, let's just say, gain a new client.
Oh, okay.
So how am I going to help you gain a new client? Or how am I going to help you generate, or let's just say, if we think more so about your consultation process or how you charge the $500 to $1,000, you sit down with them, you take them through the entire process, right?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine somebody, let me stop sharing real quick. Like I was telling you, in our event space, the entire thing, the entire process that you have, I don't see that most people do that. When I have ever hired a decorator to do
Mm-hmm.
anything, or even the decorator that I was working with, she don't sit down and have a consultation with you in the manner in which you're doing it, right? So the manner that you're doing it can definitely help more people close
Mm-hmm.
that client versus, hey, let's come check out my event space. I'm gonna walk you around it, and this
Mm-hmm.
is the price, and that's it. You're not
Mm-hmm.
actually sitting down with them, going through that experience with them, mapping out their vision, and then giving them a visual of it. So
Mm-hmm.
that one unique method that you have, you can break that down into so many micro pieces and how you can create content around that. Let me show you how you can close your next client. Here's my exact process. Step one, I do this. Step two, I do this. Step three, I do this. Right? So
Okay.
because you have multiple pieces in your process, those pieces can become your framework on how you're going to help the next person, and you can break that down into pieces of content.
Got it.
Right? So you have the pricing structure. You have how you pretty much run your own event decorating business with just utilizing vendors. You don't even have to be the person that do the work. You just do the
Mm-hmm.
consultation and you're the face of the company, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
another angle that you can use. I'm gonna show you how you can leverage AI. So there's multiple angles on how you bring your whole offer together. And
Okay.
this once you have those multiple angles on how you bring that offer together, it equates to one solution.
Okay.
Right? Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. And you know what it makes me think about? Remember I told you that I was pushed into doing that one master class that I put together in a whole week.
Mhm.
Well, the reason I guess because I didn't convert all those people that were there, except for
Mhm.
one person, she bought my product, but it's because I was, talking about my experience and blah blah blah, and I gathered their attention. But when it came to, well, you all are here and, I got these digital products that'll make your life easier, it's like I was just trying to sell the digital backdrops and things. So I had that again, that tunnel, I'll call it a tunnel piece. I was missing that whole whole thing.
Right. And then what you'll learn as we go on, once we start moving into the webinar portion,
Mm-hmm.
and when you start doing your presentation and everything, you're going to learn when it comes to that piece of the presentation when you're pitching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not talking about the pieces, like you said, digital products. We're not talking about you're going to get digital products that's going to do help you design all that. We're going to talk about the solution,
Mm-hmm.
the payoff around the digital products, because
Mm-hmm.
we have to be able to paint the picture of why they need what you have to offer.
Yeah.
Painting the problems, like we talked about the cost of inaction. If you don't take action today, this is where you're gonna remain stuck, confused,
Mm-hmm.
unprepared. So this is what we're painting the picture around, not necessarily, oh, I'm going to give you a digital product, you're going to join my community, you're going to do this, that, and the other. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God, what's the end result of all of that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So as we get further into, like, once we start building out your presentation and everything, then you start to learn like how you need to pitch your offer.
Okay.
Okay. All right, cool. Let's see. Okay. So tangible and emotional results. So a tangible result is results that can be seen, measured, or observed, versus emotional results is how the customer wants to feel. Okay. So a
Mm-hmm.
tangible result again could be like build a webinar, improve a credit profile, launch a coaching program, create a sales funnel, develop monthly budget, generate qualified applications. Versus the emotional reason behind that, or the result behind that, is I feel more confident, I'm more prepared, I'm more secure, clear, relieved, etc. Okay. So customers may explain the tangible result, but emotional desires often influence the buying decision. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes back to what I was just saying. When we're getting ready to pitch, we're not pitching the product, we're pitching how their current estate. Like, I'm stuck, I'm confused, I'm unprepared, I'm doing manual actions, all these different things,
Mm-hmm.
right? I can't get a client. Versus the tangible results is, oh, in my program, I'm going to help you build a webinar, I'm going to help you you know, create digital products, I'm going to teach you how to design. Like, those are the tangible, but most people are looking for how I'm going to feel after I go through this process. That's going to help influence their buying decision. Okay. So we want to
Mm-hmm.
sell the desired outcome. People do not only buy the process, they buy the future the process helps them create. So when we talk about people in the gym sells more than just equipment. They sell strength, confidence, health, energy, transformation, versus our airline sells more than a seat, destination, experience, etc. Okay. So a digital offer should communicate the desired result, not only the delivery. And I think I
Mm-hmm.
have repeated this like in more than like 10 different ways, right? So if we can like just recap all of this, we understand now that your offer is a desired outcome. It's a emotional feeling behind it. It's a transformation, right? It's the current state that they want to be at, not the delivery methods that we're including in this program or service or
Okay.
product. Okay. Again, deliverables versus transformation. Deliverables is what the customer receives. Transformation is what changes because the customer uses those deliverables. Okay. So, what makes a promise believable? A believable promise builds trust and sets clear expectations. Okay. So, a believable promise is a specific, it precisely states the outcome or result, is relevant, is realistic, is connected to a process, supported by experience or proof. And this goes back to you as well, Brianna, like we were just talking about, like the 10K blueprint. Is that a realistic, measurable promise that anybody that you work with through your 6 steps can achieve? It's achievable, yes, but there takes other things to help that promise become believable. It's going to require more work sometimes from the client, right?
Mhm.
Um, So these are believable promises versus grow your business, become a millionaire in 30 days with no work, right? You have people who promotes like that. Build a clear webinar-based sales system that helps turn audience attention into qualified applications for your premium offer. That's more strong versus, like you said, we're talking about revenue versus outcome. Yes, revenue. A lot of times people are looking for the outcome to be revenue, but we want to make the promise believable, right? Yes, through this system you can make $10,000 or more a month, but it's going to require X, Y, and Z. Okay, so a great promise is attractive, but most importantly, it is believable. Okay, so here's a statement that we want to be able to build out. Okay, and these statements are usually used like through your social media and like in your bios and different things like that. So the basic transformation statement is I help a particular audience move from the current problem to a desired result. Okay. So for example, for you, Brianna, I help new tax professionals move from feeling unprepared and overwhelmed to launching their first tax season with a clear setup, client process, and marketing plan. I help established coaches move from inconsistent launches and manual follow up to a structured webinar system that supports more predictable enrollment. So this is more clear in my mind versus we're saying I help people build out an automated funnel system to do X, Y, and Z. Most people don't know what an automated funnel system is. So them having an automated funnel system is not their current problem. The current problem is emotional, right? So if anybody came across this particular statement that says, I help new tax professionals move from feeling unprepared and overwhelmed, that is the biggest problem that we see most people in that industry is having. Why? Because they have hundreds of clients that they have and they're doing everything manual. They're overwhelmed, overworked. So now you want to help them put a system in place that's going to help them, gain more clients with ease, different things like that. So this is a foundation statement that clarifies the business, not necessarily the final marketing statement. Okay. So what is a method? A method is the path used to help the customers reach the result. So inside of the method, we want to identify like what needs to happen first, what happens next, what steps to create the result, and what must the customer understand, and what must the customer build, change, or implement. So this goes back to Sherry, how we were talking about your method. So far we kind of broke some things down in regards to the pricing structure. We talked about the AI. We talked about the consultation piece. But we need to take all of those components and create a 3 to 4 step method. What is my 3 to 4 step method, blueprint, framework, whatever you want to call it, that's going to produce the transformation? And like Brianna was talking about her 6-step system. Within this system, we know that if we implement this for any event planner, event decorator, any business owner, that they follow this roadmap, they can get to that end result. Okay. So in the homework that we went over that I assigned last week, discovering your digital offer direction. These questions is going to help us start to build out this method, the frameworks, right? So the part that I was going to give you this week was actually, once you answer those questions, I was going to give you another prompt that's going to help you build out your 3 to 4 step method. And
I'm actually going to do the one I didn't do. I'm going to knock that out tonight.
Okay.
So I can do both homeworks.
Okay, sounds
Because
good.
I don't want to lag behind.
Okay, sounds good. So then we want to name that method, right? So for me, I have different methods depending on how I'm, on what I'm doing essentially, right? So my method here is called the Queen Digital Growth System. Inside of my Queen Digital Growth System, I have 3 to 4 steps that I'm going to help you to achieve your desired result. Right? So for you, you can create I think I had another one. So at one point I was working with a lot of credit. Well, I still work with credit repair and funding companies.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a system called the Dominate and Grow formula. And inside of my Dominate and Grow formula, there was 3 to 4 steps that's going to help you achieve a desired result, right? So for you, you can name it the 20 pearls. Um, I don't know. We have to come up with the name, but
Right.
once before we come up with the name, we want to identify the steps
What
first.
it is.
So
Yeah.
just like Kim, she has the cream system. I'm sure that cream is abbreviated and it stands for something.
That's for something.
That's her framework,
Yeah.
right? So that's the same thing that we want to implement because when you're creating content, those are things that you're going to talk about. Like, hey, learn my exact pearl method that my pearl method is going to help you do this, right? And then you can make pearl stand for something in your method.
I love that. Pearl. Yep. I love that.
Right?
The pearl method. That's good.
Or pearl method, pearl system, pearl framework. We could play around with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right, cool. Let's see. So I'm gonna just wrap up today's call with defining going more into the method piece so you have a better understanding too.
Okay.
Okay. So what is a method? I mean, why does a method matter? I'm sorry. Without a method, your offer may feel like random information. Okay. So without a method, it can feel like too much information, no clear path, hard to follow, etc. Okay. So what makes up a clear, strong method? Okay, we want to be able to take that method and turn information into transformation. So your method needs to clearly create structure. It needs to follow a clear framework, provides clarity, help your end user build confidence, brings organization, creates repeatability, right? Easy to teach, deliver, and scale, delivers a better experience, right? Customers feel guided and supported. It also provides a clear teaching sequence from step one to the transformation. So whenever you create your method, this is exactly you're going to teach that same method. Like if you're doing community, right? Because that method is repeatable and you have structure to the method, that is what you're going to teach in your programs. That is what you can create digital products around. That is what you can create ebooks around. The method, breaking down that exact method. Even in this program, the Queen Digital Growth Accelerator, the Queen KWEEN is my method. So if you go to your the welcome packet that I gave you, it breaks down what the Queen framework is.
Mm-hmm.
So that Queen framework is what I'm teaching you.
Okay.
So once you create that process, that's what you will teach, and that's what people will start to learn more about. And it also helps with branding too, because if you're always talking about on social media, learn my Pearl method, people gonna be like, Pearl method, what's she talking about? Let me learn more about
Mm-hmm.
this, right? Um, so your method does not need to be complicated. It just simply needs to show how the customer moves from where they are to where they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, I think we went over that slide already. Okay. So here's a simple method example. A proven 5-step framework to create, launch, and grow a digital offer. So that's the offer, right? So if I was to come to you and I say, hey, learn my Queen framework. What is my Queen framework? My Queen framework is a 5-step proven framework that's going to help you to create your offer, launch your offer, and grow your digital offer. And in the 5 steps, we're going to clarify, identify the audience, problem, and result, right? That's what we've been going over the last few weeks, right? Clarifying, building the foundation, right? And then we're going to go from clarifying to identifying the audience, their problem, and the result to now we want to build upon that audience, right? That problem and that result by creating the offer, the messaging, and then the core assets that's going to consist of what that offer is, right? Then we want to go from the build phase to actually launching it. So we're introducing it to the marketplace. Now we're talking about it through a social media. Okay.
Mhm.
Then we want to convert. So we want to now use, now that we've launched it via social media, we're talking about it on our content, right? Now we want to be able to take what we are identifying through our audience, their pain, their problem, and their frustration, right? We're creating the messaging around it. We have the offer built. We know what the assets is, right? We've launched it to social media. Now we need to convert that traffic. And how are we going to convert that traffic? We want to leverage webinars. Webinars is going to become your sales process to move that attention and potential leads to now becoming prospects and them making a decision. Once we convert them, now we want to optimize our systems. We want to have follow ups and things like that in place. So the
Mhm.
names of your steps are less important than the actual logic behind it. Okay. So,
Okay.
yes, we can create unique names, which is what's going to help your framework stand out. Right. Like for me, people know me as the funnel queen. So I took the word
Mhm.
queen and created that into my framework.
Mhm.
Okay. So do not overcomplicate the method. A method does not need 10 complicated phases, a forced acronym, a trademark name on day one, or too many technical details or steps that do not support the result. So you want to start with the natural path. Ask what does someone need to do first, second, third, and next to achieve the end result. So that's why I say we don't start with naming the framework first. We build the offer, the transformation, identify the solution, and then what are those 3 to 4 steps that's going to help them achieve the end result.
Mhm.
Okay. So clarity comes before creativity. All right, cool. So we're going to stop here and I'm going to see if you have any questions.
I don't. I just know what I need to do now. I mean, yeah.
All right, cool. So, you sure you don't have no questions? Was that too much at one time?
No, but when is this gonna be uploaded? Because I want to go back through it and I've been trying to um as you're talking, I've been trying to take notes,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to go back over it so I can fill in and like
Okay.
really.
Were you able to get you inside the school community? Did you see where I added the recording in there?
Yeah, I got that
Okay.
one. I'm talking about this one.
Okay. So give me until end of day tomorrow. I should have it uploaded once the video is
Okay.
downloaded. The good
Okay.
thing is the presentation is already there.
Okay.
The presentation is already in school attached to the last video.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's already there. But I'll
And
try
then
to.
I'll do that other part of that homework too. So I
Okay.
can put that in there too.
Okay.
I was so focused on trying to get that first part because it literally, like, I had to really think, like,
Hmm.
let me write down. And then as I'm kind of in my head talking through what I'm doing. And
Hmm.
I'm like, oh man, I forgot, this little missing piece because I was trying to be as detailed as possible. So I could,
Hmm.
because I've never written down what I do. I
I
just
know a lot of people don't.
I
Yeah.
just do it. So it just really made me think like, dang, you do all that?
Right. So you'll
So,
realize once you map out everything and you understand like your clear process, like we can now take that and create your frameworks and your methods and how you're going to teach people.
because when you told me I could do that, it sounded real good because I didn't know that that was something that I could do. But when I wrote down everything I did, I was like, wow, this is a
Hmm.
lot.
Yep. So once you give me your homework, I'm going to take the information that you give me and
Okay.
I'm going to help like fine tune it and we're going to build up on it
Okay.
so that we can get the final offer together, the
Yeah.
final frameworks and all of that. So once we're done with this portion, we
Hmm.
have what the offer is, what your I help statement is, what your pieces to the puzzle is going to be when you're starting to market.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I think I saw Brianna with a message. Let's see.
Okay.
So it was something I wanted to say. I had a thought in my mind, Brianna, right before we came back to class in your funnel. Hold on one second. Um, oh, okay. So on your funnel, Bianca, I was thinking this over as we were on the break. Um, so one of the things that, are you still targeting tax professionals? Because here you're saying, okay, wait, are you still targeting tax professionals and you're helping them to get leads and things like that? Or are you moving toward coaches and high ticket sales? Because that's two different lanes.
Probably leaning more towards coaches.
Okay, so not just tax professionals.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so why are you choosing to step away?
Uh, because I feel like coaches use funnels more, like the
Mhm.
systems more than tax pros. Like tax pros use it, but not as much. Like they're more skeptical about it.
Okay, so how much time have you given yourself to actually know that that's proven or true?
Uh, I've looked at it for like the past couple of months, really.
Okay. Mm, I would say there's not enough time.
Okay.
Not enough time to really dominate that market because there's people who's dominating the tax market, tax industry. And when you're moving into coaches, you still have to identify what industry you want that coach to be in, right? So for me, when I'm calling out coaches, consultants, and service providers, right? I'm calling out coaches, consultants, and service providers that's in the credit repair industry, the funding industry, and tax industry. Because that's going to be very important as well if you want to dominate a certain niche. And then also, um, somebody that's a coach has a different problem than a service provider.
So it's like it's mostly like the tax coaches, not just like that the tax preparers, if it makes sense.
Okay. So people who's already teach, so a tax coach will be like, do you know Rosie?
Yeah.
Rosie, Kyla, those are coaches who are teaching other tax professionals to scale their businesses.
Hmm.
So when you think about people that's at their level, those are my clients, right? When you think about people who's at their level, you have to really, those people are more than likely already making $10,000 a month, right? So your messaging would need to be a little bit different on how you attract people who are not making $10,000 a month. Um,
Okay.
so then when we say the coach's funnel blueprint, if your goal is to help somebody who's already a coach and you want to help them get more consistent high ticket clients, um, you definitely want to have a proven framework. So if I'm a coach, I'm making $10,000 a month, and I want to automate my coaching. I want to get more coaching clients, right?
Hmm.
I want you to explain to me, how are you helping me get more high ticket coaching clients through your framework?
Okay. I need to sit down and think about that. But like I have it in my head.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like trying to actually word it, I should say.
Okay.
Because
So,
basically, like I'm helping with the follow up, I'm helping with the onboarding by setting all that up through the automations and stuff like that. Like getting more people. Like I know what I'm doing, but it's hard for me to like explain it right now.
okay.
I just need
So
to get my thoughts together.
the only feedback I would give there is, because we're not quite clear on it yet.
Hmm.
Because once you become clear, it's gonna come out real easy, right? Um, so we gotta go back to thinking like, okay, is a is an having automations follow-ups, emails, different things like that. Is that truly what's going to help a coach get consistent clients?
Yeah.
Okay. Because if they don't have traffic, that system is not going to do anything for them, right? If they don't have if they don't have a sales process, that system is not going to do anything for them, right? So for me, when what I've been doing for the last 8 years, right, is and sometimes it's hard when you're trying to really identify who your audience is, right? So for me, I aim for people that is making $10,000 a month with traffic, with a proven brand, with an established online brand that's already generating revenue, is already making at least $10,000 a month. I'm going to take what you already have proven and build you a system to continuously follow up with those clients, with those leads that you already have. You may have leads coming in, but you have a leaky bucket because you don't have the follow up system in place. Okay, so that's one way you can position it, or you position it in a way where I'm going to implement you a system that's going to help you continuously make revenue or generate revenue. And that will be either you help them build out a webinar system and you teach them webinars, right? Or you implement a via sales system in place that's going to help them attract and bring in more leads.
Gotcha.
Okay. So revenue, that's why I think it was a good point that what Sherry made. Like, okay, is your system more proven to help them hit 10K, go beyond 10K, and how? Right. For so you would need to know, like, okay, my system is going to either help you automate this journey that you have, or it's going to help you generate more revenue. How is it going to generate more revenue? You know, the webinar system can help you generate more revenue. VSL system is going to help you bring in more leads, automate those bookings, right? So for me, when I would think I had shared with you, I had a certain system in place that I built for funding companies, right? So a lot of people in the funding industry, they pretty much just do a lot of things manual. They don't have a consistent way that they're going to bring in, get more qualified bookings, right? So I created a process that is proven to help them attract more clients through their content, build out their proven frameworks, and then build out their VSL funnel system. What is the benefit of the funnel system? The VSL funnel system, right? The VSL funnel system allows them to pre-sell their method before ever pre-qualifying those leads before they ever book a call. So now they can clearly pre-sell through the VSL video. Once that lead takes action, they're going to go through an application process. So now they're getting qualified leads. So I help funding companies get more qualified leads and more book calls, right?
Okay.
So you just want to be able to clearly identify, like, what is truly, how are you truly going to help a coach either hit $10,000 a month, or you want to work with people who's already making $10,000 a month.
Gotcha.
To get more high ticket clients. And right now, the way people are getting more high ticket clients is really through webinars.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm teaching Sherry. We're building the foundation first, then we're going to start structuring and building out the webinars. So then she could start, doing her weekly webinar presentations and bringing in those clients to, right. We're not going to focus on high ticket right now. I don't want her to focus on pitching high ticket because we got to build up to that, right? But we want to focus on either building a community or selling like a mini course, or like a either community mini course or like a monthly cohort.
Gotcha.
Is what I'm going to be working with Sherry on, trying to build those things out. And then once we get proven results, things like that, then you can start transitioning into high ticket. People can't really jump right into high ticket because if you don't have proven results yet, if you don't have the social proof, an established brand, it's going to be hard to sell 2K, 3K, 4K and more offer.
Gotcha.
So for you, I would say, I'm not going to say it's the easiest route, but if you want to attract coaches in the tax industry that's already making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month or more. Because there's people out there that's making that money that still don't have the system, right?
Mm,
Because I just signed on, and like I told you, I'm moving away from just doing done for you. We're moving into growth operations. Like we're
Hmm.
growth. Like I don't know if you saw it, but I'm a growth operator. So now I just signed on a client who we are helping their clients scale, right? So that was if you move into that direction, I just signed on a $7,500 monthly retainer client.
wow.
Okay.
Because these clients are making millions of dollars a month, but they still don't have the structure and the scalability and things that they need on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to be clear on like what is that solution, what is the transformation, and clearly like simplify it as much as you can and just know who you are targeting.
Mm-hmm.
Because your messaging is going to target the right people once you get clear on it.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause like on my call that I had with Tony last night, like we were actually talking about something similar to that, like the growth operator.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, trying to now I have to like rework it how I actually want to do it. So that's why I said I just gotta get my offer clear.
Right. But, but yeah, just let me know if you have any other questions, and then we can go from there.
Okay.
All right, cool. Any questions, Sherry?
Mm-mm, I'm good.
All right. All right, cool. So give me some time to get these videos uploaded, and then I'm gonna put your
Okay.
new homework inside the portal.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, thank y'all so much. Y'all have a blessed evening and a good
Okay.
week.
All right.
You
You
too.
all too.
All right,
Bye bye.
cool. Mhm.